Hey everyone, it's Joanne Dunbar, and I am doing my discussion for Module 5. So, in talking about professional development, we had been asked to describe our best professional development learning experience. I don't know if I can narrow it down to just one, but I would say any of the best professional development experiences that I've had have been where I was being given a strategy or a tool and then given the opportunity to do it myself, to use it. And when it's presented as something where I'm able to use this in my classroom to make my students' learning experiences better. So I think there was one a couple of years ago, and it was during my planning, and nobody likes to go to a PD during their planning, right? But it actually ended up being very helpful. It was somebody from Ron Clark Academy, actually. She was a retired public school teacher, then taught part-time at Ron Clark Academy. And she was coming to just give us some new strategies for content area reading. So it was very practical. It was, hey, let's try this together and you can see how it works and you can think about how you could use this in your classroom. And I was an ELA teacher at the time, but we did it for a science text. The leader had already mapped out all of the steps, and she just kind of took us through the activity. All of the materials were ready, and we were all able to kind of participate in the activity and think about how we could use it in our own classrooms. And I know several of my colleagues did, and I did. I used it. It was kind of a sequence of 3 different activities, and one of them involved a group of us that were all seated around a table, and we looked at some different sources and then responded to them all on the same piece of paper. We called it the placemat activity, and I used it in my classroom several times after that. That was, I guess, kind of epitomizes for me the height of a successful PD because it was practical. It was meaningful, and then it was something that I was able to take and use in my own classroom. And connecting that to our readings, I want to talk about the article from the NCTE. That was the one that I really got a lot out of that as far as solutions for effective PD. And I want to talk about the number 2 component of professional learning, where it says teachers are seen as co-constructors of knowledge, not as passive recipients of knowledge. And I think that's really important for any kind of professional development. Teachers need to be treated like professionals, and we're not just these buckets waiting to be filled. And it kind of goes back to the pedagogy versus andragogy compare and contrast as well, is when you're teaching adults, you need to allow them to decide what is relevant for them. And as teachers, it's true too. Connecting that to my worst experience with professional development, most of those I am connecting back to my most recent teaching year, this past year. At my school, we had a mandated scripted math program that we had to use, and all of our teacher work days were devoted to all-day trainings for that scripted program. And it was a private company, Houghton Mifflin. They would fly somebody out who worked for Houghton Mifflin corporate, and that person would be in our school doing a training. There were many PowerPoint slides and lots of tired, glassy-eyed teachers reluctantly participating. There were a few hands-on activities here and there, but the whole premise of it is I've been paid the big bucks to come out here and teach you teachers how to use this scripted curriculum that goes step by step anyway, and tells you exactly what to say anyway, and convince you that it's the best thing ever. And as you can tell, I really didn't buy into that. And I can really connect that to the readings in the NCT article where it said, "We've all been that teacher, moaning to our peers as we strategically gather what we need in order to grade papers or plan lessons during the PD. In preparation for speakers who, while often far removed from classrooms, tell us how to teach or how to implement a newly purchased mandated curriculum or assessment program." And that just so fully describes my most frustrating professional development experiences. Yes, we sneak our papers in there to grade because we have better things to do than to sit there and listen to that, right? Or that's how I always felt. So I think we have to be careful that we're treating teachers as professionals. And I think the more autonomy and empowerment that you give to teachers when you lead them through a professional development, the better it's going to go. When I was given a tool or a resource or a strategy and said, "Hey, this is how I want to share this with you. This is how it works. This is how you do it. Let's do it together. And now you decide how and when this is going to be useful to you." And if and when, or if that program is successful or useful, I will be inspired and empowered to use it in meaningful ways in my classroom. And that just connects to the number 3 prompt. I want any professional development that I deliver to be that, meaning something that I can give to teachers that will be useful for them, that they can practice doing during my professional development sessions, so I'm not overestimating my own value by just standing up there talking at them like I'm a super important person, giver of knowledge. No, it's about the shared collective experience of learning this new strategy or tool, and I want teachers to come away feeling like, wow, I have something new that I can use and I can't wait. And I have definitely sat through some trainings like that, and that's what I hope to deliver for my colleagues if and when I am able to do a professional development. So I hope everybody enjoys this last module. We are getting close to the finish line, and I'm looking forward to viewing some others' responses.